and welcome. Today we are taking a full look at the brand new Nerf Pro Gelfire Uproar. So the Uproar is claiming 7 rounds a second. Of course it is fully automatic. It's including 10,000 Gelfire rounds, a 400 round hopper, and is claiming 150 FPS. Let's jump right in and see what we get in the box. So included in the box, of course, we're going to get the Gelfire Uproar itself. We're going to get the 400 round hopper, 2 packs of 5,000 Gelfire rounds, totaling 10,000, eye protection, and of course the instructions. Now, unfortunately, this blaster does not include a rechargeable battery. We'll talk about that more later, but for now, there are 2 screws up front. So you just unscrew those, this whole panel comes off, and this blaster requires 8 AA's, which is exactly what they did with the rival Challenger. This not only means that you have to buy batteries, but it's also going to put more weight up front. Now let's go over the blaster. Starting off, we do only have 1 rival style rail on the blaster, and we kinda have 2 sling mounts. This thing up here and this piece back here could definitely be used as sling mounts. I usually wouldn't point this out, but towards the bottom of the blaster, we have a lot of what I think are water drainage holes, which I think is kind of nice to see. And down here, right below the trigger, we have our safety. In the rear position, you are safe, and in the forward position, you're ready to fire. Now up at the top of the blaster, we have our 400 round hopper. Now, this blaster is fully cross-compatible with the hoppers from the Mythic, the Legion, the Raid, and also the Nerf Gelfire Nightfall hopper. So we can easily take the 800 round hopper from the Mythic, take this 400 round hopper off, and place this one on instead. The build quality is pretty solid, the ergonomics are pretty okay, some people might have an issue with this thing in the back, and that's about it. This is a pretty simple blaster. Of course, to fire it, you're going to load up the hopper, and assuming the safety's off, just pull the trigger. Now let's take the Uproar outside and put it over the chronograph. For this chronograph test, we will be using genuine, fully hydrated Nerf Gelfire rounds. The box is claiming 150 FPS, 70, 142, 145, 134, 130, 138, and a duplicate 138. We will discard that 70 because I think that must have been some kind of misfeed, but we are hitting a little bit under that 150, pretty close. But yeah, definitely a little shy of that number, but I have a hunch that it should fire a little bit harder with full auto, and I'm not going to put these on screen because they're going too fast, but that is 150. So this blaster will hit 150 if you're using it in full auto. Now let's fire some shots downrange. Pretty good distance. I'm gonna do some full auto. We had a few dry fires there. You're gonna need to shake this thing every once in a while to keep it feeding reliably. Overall, that performance is not terrible, but I would say painfully average. Yes, this blaster does hit harder than the Mythic, but it does have a substantially lower rate of fire. It doesn't really seem like even 7 rounds a second to me. The Mythic was very lickety-split and a fast blaster when it was feeding right. This thing is very much pretty slow. So what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Pro Gelfire Uproar? Overall, this blaster is kinda strange because conceptually, it's basically just a Mythic with less features. Yes, it is half the price that the Mythic retailed for. The Mythic, of course, was 70. This is retailing for 35. But since the Mythic came out in 2022, you've been able to get them easily for around $40. This is pretty much a downgrade in most areas. Like I said, it does actually have more power than the Mythic, so it does better in that area. But we lost a lot of what made the Mythic really unique and special, and instead made a pretty plain and generic gel blaster and just put the Nerf logo on it. That's pretty much what the Uproar is. There are countless amounts of gel blasters that do basically what this thing does, a lot of them a little bit better. This is a very simple and straightforward hopper-fed full auto blaster that doesn't get groundbreaking rate of fire or performance. We lost the really cool expandable stock that came with the Mythic. More importantly, we lost the rechargeable battery, which is really going to bug a lot of people, and it definitely bugs me. It is nice that we kept that hopper compatibility, because this hopper system is unique to Nerf and it's super cool. But I mean, I don't know, if you like the way this thing looks and you want a pretty compact, pretty simple full auto blaster, yeah, it does an okay job. But I feel there are a lot of other options. At the end of the day, in my opinion, this thing is just okay, just passable, but certainly not exceptional. But those are just my thoughts, and I would love to hear yours. And if you are interested in the Uproar, I will have the Amazon link in my description. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts on this thing. Subscribe for more, and happy blasting.